The intermediate trick I-24, sidestep for 3 steps. Our objective is to teach the dog to move sideways, straight, beside, and in unison with the handler for 3 full steps. The prerequisite is that the dog has a sound understanding of and fluency in heel position, and of moving his hindquarters as per the novice step-up tricks. We'll explore several methods of teaching this trick. For all of them, remember the principle that turning your dog's head in one direction will help turn his hindquarters in the opposite direction. With the dog standing in front, hand targeting a head turn, and then hand targeting the head turn and getting some hindquarter movement. We can do the same with the dog beside you, first while stationary, and then turning the head, and then achieving a little movement. You can also do it with the dog a little further away. In the novice step-up tricks, the dog has learnt to move his hindquarters laterally. Start with a reminder of that movement, first on the box and then on the flat. Then take 1 step at 90 degrees, flattening into a straight line. First pivot on the box and then step off to the side. Then you can do the same thing on the flat. Pivot and then step to the side. You can do this both in front and in heel position. You can also apply the same approach with the dog moving away from you. Again, start on the box. Then transition to the flat. Before proceeding further, you may wish to consider your foot placement, what works best for you and your dog. Here are 3 options. First, the foot furthest from the dog steps away, and the near foot closest to the dog then moves up to it. Number 2, the foot nearest to the dog steps behind the furthest foot. For the third, the near foot steps in front of the foot furthest from the dog. Now with the dog, first, feet drawn together. Next we have the near foot taken behind the other foot. And now the near foot stepping in front of the other foot. An alternative method involves use of a platform, which helps provide clarity for the dog. The following assumes prior knowledge of and skill in using a platform. You can start with the dog either beside you or facing you. It's assumed that he already understands the cue for each of those positions. With the dog in front, take 1 step, mark and reward. Gradually add 1 step at a time until he can do a whole series of sideways movements. Having established sideways movement in front using a platform, You can then go through the same process on the flat. Start with a single step in front and gradually build up the number of steps before you mark and reward. You can apply the same process with the dog beside you, first on a platform and then on the flat. With the dog standing beside you, mark and reward in the stationary position. Then take one step, mark and reward. Build the number of steps progressively. How it looks from behind. Once the dog is moving laterally beside you, using the platform, again transition to working on the flat, starting with a single step and building from there. Pulling it all together, the key elements of the trick. For the setup, the dog will be in a stand and close to you on your left or right side. For the cue and action, you will cue your dog to move sideways with you in either direction. The dog must maintain position while you take at least 3 steps. Here are some examples of the intermediate trick. Sidestep for 3 steps.